Okay, I'd like to talk about a new way to put the Kevlar ejection blanket on. And I basically came across this as I was thinking about rebuilding one of my older rockets. This is the Crossfire. I've had it for quite some time. It got banged up and a few modifications. So I decided to give it a fresh coat of paint, make it look a little different, make it look like new. But I made a few additions. One thing I did was to put the permanent mounting method on the swivel. You see the heat shrink covers the swivel. There's no knot. I can't take this off. There's very few reasons to take this off, with this particularly being a 300-pound cord. On the nose cone, the change I made was to put a lot of glue on here. So this is a slip line knot. I pulled it down close onto the eyelet. And there's a lot of glue on here. And the reason is I want to make sure the glue covers the nose cone, the eyelet. Therefore, it's going to be a lot stronger so it won't tear off. So now I've got the situation, it's like, okay, how do I put the ejection blanket on? Well, there's actually a very, very easy way to do it. And I discovered this when I was working on my mercury redstone. And this is a very nice technique, which I think I'm going to use for more of my rockets moving forward, at least for those where I've got the ends permanently mounted. So you can see the original streamer is this one here. This is a 2-inch streamer. And initially I had this blanket. So how do I attach it? Well, I make a loop in the Kevlar here, push it through. Now I have this loop. Now, all you have to do is take the blanket and pull it back through, and voila, it's attached. You see there's a knot there now. You see it's going to pull tight. If I pull this tight, and now we can go ahead and finish up by pulling this, and we're all done. Now, if you want to move this around, you can just certainly pull on these cords a little bit. If you want to move it closer to the nose cone, if you want to move it farther down, so if I want to move it closer to the nose cone, I would do this. Chances are I do want to keep this close to the nose cone because one of the purposes of this blanket is to hold the streamer in place during the launch. And under high accelerations, it might slide. So now you can see this is the 2-inch blanket. I could put a blanket on there for a 1-inch streamer. You can put a blanket on there for the 1/2-inch streamer. And if I decide, I can take all the blankets off and maybe just put a parachute on there. So the whole idea is to make the blanket very quickly interchangeable. In order to take this off, just loosen this up, pull it back through, and you put the blanket on for whatever you want to use. But by the way, I have had situations in the field where the ejection charge apparently bypassed the wadding and just burned up the entire blanket, and I had to replace it. So this is a very simple technique. But I think I'm going to be using this in the future for the rest of my designs.